I do believe this is part 5. I lost count because it's been a few days since I've done any work here. But part 4, if that's what it was only 1 or 2 videos, so it will be included here in part 5. Anyway, 2005 Jeep Grand Cherokee, putting this thing back together with the oil pump. It was too greasy underneath for me to hold the camera while putting bolts and stuff in there, so I couldn't record putting it back together. But anyway, I got the oil pan back on. I got the motor mounts all back on and the inspection cover for the transmission back on. So now all I got left to do is put the timing chains up here. I'll make another video to show you how to set the timing on the timing chains before you even put it up here. Before I start putting the timing chains back on, I noticed I forgot to put the intake manifold back in there. So I gotta slide out the motor mount bolts down here again so I can set the engine down far enough to put that intake manifold back on. Always something. And then out here we got some storm that's fixing to roll in here, coming from the north up there. It was nice and hot today, but it's about to get a little bit cooler and wet. Just gathered myself up a piece of cardboard to lay on under the truck so I don't have to slide all over the concrete. But now the sky is turning black right here. Got some thunder happening. Looks like might get a nice cool down. A little bit of water coming on me. All right, got the intake manifold back on. The motor mount bolts slid back in to hold the engine up in place. Now I just need to put the nuts on the motor mount bolts, tighten it up, and come up here and tighten up the intake manifold. Can you hear the thunder? It's coming. I hear the train a coming. All right, got the intake manifold all tightened down. Nothing's connected though. Getting ready to do the timing chains. So you should take note, this head is further forward than this head is. You can see this one's set back, this one's set forward. This will help you to know where the chains go on the timing gears. I will explain that in a minute, but you're gonna need couple of zip ties for this job, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. What we got here are the timing chains. There are a total of 3. This one runs on the crank, and these 2 run up to the cam from brain fart. Anyway, this gear right here, you see the backside has 3 gears. This one is for one of the cams, this one is for another cam, and this one just goes for timing for the balance shaft. This is a balance shaft gear. This gear right here, see it's got a notch or mark right here. This one is a top dead center mark. It has a line or a notch back here on this gear that is going to line up to when it goes in. Also, putting these chains on, you can see through this hole right here, this right here, got some colored gears back there. Hope you can see it, colored gears back there. That's where the little dimple on the timing mark I just showed you up on the engine, it lines up with this one. So these holes are for alignment purposes. Timing chains, this has 2 black links on this side and 1 black link on this side. Both chains are that way. 1 black link here, 2 black links here. These black links will be visible through here. All right. The one that is forward here, the closest to this gear, the one just under that, goes to the driver's side, which is the head that is further forward. You line up. You line up the 2 black links visible inside this hole, and then the next gear down, the 2 black links will be visible in this hole. And then this one right here is straight up and down here, which will line up with the mark right here. When this one is straight down, this one will line up here. This one will line up with the single dot right here. All right, putting timing chain on. You can see through this hole, the two links down here. These are the two dark links. This is the driver's side head, which is on the opposite side. This is on the left side or passenger side, I should say right side. It's the right side or passenger side. Those dark links should be visible here because the chain will come up and go this way. And then you get the second chain right here, those dark links on the next gear down and visible through there, opposite of this direction. Now for the zip ties, each chain you put on, you know, you make sure the black links are lined up there, opposite of them. Put the zip tie on and pull it tight so it will lock the chain in that position. When that chain is locked in that position, you can rest assured that the timing is not going to move, because the chain won't move at all. And then you can put the second chain on. Both chains are on. The black links for the driver's side are visible on the left hole here. On the right hole here, the black links not quite visible through there because the other chain's in the way, but down here you can see these two black links are right here. They're directly below this hole right here. So they are in time. Chain's pulled tight and zip tied on there so the chain cannot move. So the cam gear chains are all set on the crank position. All right, crank gear is on here, right here. You can see the two black links with the dot right in the center of them. And the chain goes up with the timing mark right there and the black link right there. I hope you can see these colors. But this is all an assembled unit. Like this, it can be picked up like this and be set onto the crank and balance shaft. All right, once you got those connected in the order they should be, you know, this side goes up to the driver's side head, and this side goes up to the passenger side head. The keyway, which is at the 2 o'clock position with the black mark at the 6 o'clock position, this mark up here at the 12 o'clock position. The gear back here in the back, it's a little spiral gear, so it's not going to line up directly until you slide these back, but they will slide back. They're not hard. They just push a little bit here, a little bit there, and they'll keep going. But at the same time, you're going to have to take these chains and feed them up inside the heads this way so that they don't bind. All right, we got the timing chains routed up through there and down there, up on there. Now we got to do the timing gears. See, 2 different timing gears that go on the camshafts. These are the camshaft. The gears goes on here. Gear goes here. That's the camshaft. Now this gear with the funky looking ring around it is a sensor ring. All those things trigger the sensor for the cam. That sensor is right here. So this funky looking gear goes on this side, and this gear goes on this side. You see, this one says right, this one says left, and this one tells you this is the V6 or the V8. This one's the V6. This one also says right and left. These words or letters will be horizontal when the timing is right. If it's on the left side, the timing gear will have a little notch right here for the black link on the chain, and also there's a link on the right side with the notch here, so you can line up the link with the notches. It's not easy to get it wrong, so if you mess this up, you're gonna be hating it. All right, now as you can see here, the right side, which is the passenger side, that black link is lined up with the R dot on that head. On this side, the driver's side, I don't know if I can get in there. I will try. But the black link is lined up with the left dot. Now I don't have bolts in there to hold it up in place, but this is where the timing marks are 100% lined up. So when I finish sliding this back and lining up the gear with the marks on the back, then I can cut these zip ties and I'll be able to have enough slack in the chain that I can set the gears up on their little shear pins and set the nut or set the bolt inside these things. I kind of got to undo what I did a little bit. I forgot to put this piece in there. This goes on behind this right here in front of the oil pump. So I'll just slide this back off and stick this piece on there. But same way to put it back together. All right, now I got this thing in place. This usually is under tension. It would have a grenade pin holding this thing up against here, but I don't have that grenade pin for this one, so I'm not gonna put it under tension. I'm just gonna manhandle it in there. But now I can go ahead and slide the timing gears back on there. All right, I got the chain slid back into the tensioner. I got it just to where the timing mark is visible on that back piece there. So you can see the gear. It's got a spiral to it. That spiral lines up with the black link of the chain that's coming in there. It's at top dead center, so that is safe to push that spiral gear in and bring that gear right to where it needs to be. I hope that makes sense. That dot on that gear is lined up with the tooth with the black link on the chain. Getting closer. Okay, got the tensioner on behind there and these gears in place, and timing mark, I don't know, you can see that, but timing mark lines up. Chains are up here on the top, although I don't have the gears up there. They will be shortly. Everything's all ready to put back together. I mean, you know, put the gears on, set the cams into the position they need to be on their little shear pins. Put the bolts in there. Torque goes down 90 foot-pounds, by the way. Okay, now before I can put on the timing gear on the camshaft, I need to put in the chain guide. Chain guide, as you know, mounts down on the bottom side, comes down inside here. The other two we never took off, so they're already in place. We only took off this one. You can see this is the shape. It's kind of a banana shape. The smooth side goes towards the chain. This is the top, this is the bottom. For those of you that don't know, the chain guide will slide in down this way, come down, and get right in here. This hole right here goes behind this little metal plate, and right inside here is where the other bolt hole is. Chain guide is in, bolt is in here, the other bolt is in here. Both are torqued down, so I was able to set the gears up here in place. They can sit on the cam. See, they sit on the cam, but they are not locked into place. The way to lock these into place, before locking them into place, put the chain tensioners, one down here and one over here. No wait, one down here and one up here. And Once those tensioners are in place, then we can turn the cam gears to line up these grooves right here with the little shear pin that should fit inside there, and then the gear will sit flush. And then need to put this bolt in, which is this long one, looks like this. Goes right in here. Torque this down. I'm not gonna sit and tell you all the torque specs on all this stuff. It's a lot of work. So if you want to find the torque specs, you know you can find them on Google. They're readily available. Now these tensioners that go for the timing chain, you see this one's marked with an L, this one's marked with an R. One is left, one is right. As you know, right is passenger, left is driver's side. These are brand new, although they've been installed a couple of times. So I saved the grenade pins. This is the grenade pin. These need to be compressed. Compress them by unlocking it in here and squeeze these together, and then you can put the grenade pins in. Same with this one. Put the grenade pin in, put it on the thing, set the gear, line it up on the cam so it'll fit over that shear pin, and put the bolt in there. Once the bolt is in there, you can pull the grenade pin out and repeat for the other side. So this is the location and position of the right side tensioner. It's all bolted in there already. See it, the plunger sits underneath that timing chain guide. After connect this in the right place, I can pull out that grenade pin. Now for the left side, this one right here, don't forget it's got a little metal plate. It's on there. That little metal plate goes on the back of this, don't forget. These little zip ties that are holding the timing chain, I did the right side timing chain first, so I cut off the zip tie to release the little bit of tension that's on the chain so that I could bring this gear up and set it around the cam. But you see, I don't have it tightened in there all the way. I can tighten it in a little bit, just so it moves a little bit. That way I can slide this back onto the cam when I rotate the cam a little bit to line up that gear. Same thing will happen with the other side. All right, right side, passenger side, has been torqued down. You see the R mark lining up with the black link there. This is horizontal from left to right. Got this one in here. It's not torqued down yet. I wanted to show you if I can get in there. You can see the pin in that hole. It's pretty almost flush with the outside there. That's how it should be sitting in there, so you don't shear the pin or don't mess up your timing. Now just put this in and torque this down to 90 foot-pounds. All right, got the valve covers back on. They're torqued down. I don't know, we're gonna do much more tonight, but yeah, it's almost done. Timing chain still there. You know, all I gotta do is put the fuel rail on here, and my brain ain't working. The coils, and hook up the throttle body, and up top will be done. Then I still need to put on the timing chain cover, torque everything down, and this thing should be almost ready to start, man. Cannot wait, but probably won't finish it tonight. As I was going through double checking all my torque on here, I found that I am missing one bolt for the oil pump. I just don't have it. It didn't come, so now I need to go to the hardware store to find me a bolt to put in here. I got one, just don't have another one. So off to the store I go. The original bolt I needed to go find. Went to Ace Hardware. They didn't have any hardened, well, case hardened. This is hardened, but it's a number. I bought one right here. This is all they had. It's hardened, but not quite case hardened, not a grade 8. I got a grade 5, but it'll do the job it needs to do. All right, got the bolts put in, torqued down. Now you're putting your timing chain cover gasket on. It will sit in place if you put it over these 2 guide pins. The holes might not line up completely, but it's a little bit flexible to that extent. So just put timing chain cover on, and when the timing chain cover is on, tighten all your bolts down to 43 foot-pounds. Every one of them, even on the water pump, but not these. These are the only ones that are not 43 foot-pounds. All right, all the bolts are back in around this timing chain cover and in the water pump. They all need to be torqued at 43 foot-pounds. All 13 millimeter socket except this one. And you torque that one down separately, but go ahead and torque all down 43 foot-pounds. And then when you're done torquing that down, before you can put your power steering pump on, you need to put that plug back in here. And then after the plug, you put your oil filler neck back in there, and you can start adding all your other components. And adding other components such as the air conditioner, the alternator, power steering pump, and idler pulley, tensioner pulley, idler pulley. Then this thing will be done. Put the belt on it, connect the hoses, put antifreeze in it, put oil in it. We're almost there. Woohoo! I got the plug in the head on the driver's side. Got the oil filler neck on the passenger side, all tightened up. The hose for it run over here all the way to the back of the throttle body, that big airport back there. Now we're gonna put on this. This is part of the crankcase ventilation. There's a big old, let me see if I can find it. On the back of each head is a pipe, very back, both sides. But this and this will attach to as this lays over the top of the engine. And then later, this side will hook into the air breather. Put that on now. All right, got that part of the PCV system in. This is what it looks like. Goes down this way, over here, and through here. Routed under a couple of hoses here. On top of everything here except for this wire. This one goes to the air breather box later. Now, going to install the tensioner and idler pulley right here. Pay note to this bolt right here. Tensioner idler pulley right here has a dimple right there. That's where that bolt is going to fit. Remember, you kept your bolts inside everything so they didn't get lost. That's where it'll go. Put it on. Quick note before putting the tensioner idler pulley on, you still got your heater hoses to connect right here. It's a pain in the butt to get to those if the idler pulley's on. Put the heater hoses on first. I got mine tucked up out of the way over here, but I'm going to put those on right now and then install this. Okay. Got the heater hoses on, clamps on, the idler tensioner pulley on, lower radiator hose on with the clamp on. Now I'm just going to stick the air conditioner unit back over here, put the alternator back, power steering pump back, and then later I'll connect the upper radiator hose and we'll put the belt on it, top it off with some fluids, and fire this thing up. Got the AC compressor on here, got the power steering pump on here. Now that the power steering pump's on, you can put the upper radiator hose on if you want. It won't be in your way anymore. But now I'm going to put the harmonic balancer on way down here, the pulley that goes on the crankshaft.